Hello, welcome back. This is episode 6, in which I will be talking about mouse click module. This module is a very powerful module. It has plenty of possibilities, which I will be covering one by one. First, let's talk about all the fields that we have in this module. Label can be changed, so you could give it a unique name. The button list is a process selector. Sample open button opens a sample that has been created earlier. Deviation, it's a value that allows Automatron to find samples which are close to the original but not 100% original. So the bigger the value here, the farther Automatron will look for the sample. But I will be explaining this in detail later on. Offset is how far you would like to click from the beginning of the sample, or beginning of the screen, or beginning of the window. Here in this field we have three types of buttons: left, middle and right, depending on which one you would like to use. This is a click towards down and this is the click towards up. However weird that may sound, but if you press the mouse, the first you go down and then you go up. It's hard for me to think about any example when someone would want to use only down and up, but I'm pretty sure there is such a case, and some of you will be happy to use it. Okay, so we have the layout covered, and now let's proceed and talk about each case. So I have listed 4 of them, so I won't forget. The first one is when there's no process and no sample. So let me delete this module and start by adding it again. So there's no process and there's no sample. In this case, Automatron will click at the 0, 0 coordinates of the entire screen. Let's check it. And here we are, at the corner of the screen. If we add offset of 200 and 200, we probably will land somewhere here. Let's check it. I was close, but we are here because we have 200 in X and 200 in Y. Okay, then let's proceed to the case number 2, when we have a process but there is no sample. So let's check. Actually, I have it written here, so let's pick up this process. So this notepad, it's 1269 and 2. Okay, so in this case we have a process but we do not have a sample and we do not have the offset, which means that the Automatron will probably click somewhere here at the 0, 0 coordinates of this process. I'm running it and let's see. Exactly. We landed at the corner of this window because we have told Automatron to look for this process with this ID. Okay, if I will add an offset again, just to show you, Automatron will take the 0, 0 coordinate and then add 200 in X axis and in Y axis. So probably will land somewhere here. Let's check it out. Okay, it was a little bit farther. So the process has been defined, but there was no sample, so the Automatron took the 0.0 and added 200 and 200. Okay, Then we have a third case where there will be no process, but there will be a sample. So I have to somehow delete the process, which is quite easy because I can just clear these fields. And let me pick up a sample which I have created earlier using sample creator tool. By the way, sample creator tool is available from the top menu, and I will be covering this in a separate tutorial. So I have loaded a sample which is pointing at the notepad icon. It is twice bigger to prevent Automatron finding it here. Okay, so in this case, when there's no process but there is a sample defined, Automatron will search entire screen searching for this sample. I will give it a deviation of 10 just in case there will be a difference between the original sample and this icon. It's a good practice to give a little bit of deviation, because when there is 0 and something happens on the screen, Automatron will not find our sample. Alright, again, no process but sample defined. Let's see what will happen. It should search the entire screen looking for this sample and click on the first instance that it will find. Let me run the sequence. Okay, we landed here because I've forgotten to delete the offset and run it again. Okay, so as you can see, Automatron has clicked on the corner icon of the first notepad, because this is what we told it to do. Search for the first available sample and click on it. If I would add an offset of 200 and 200 and, for example, change it to the right button, then it would find the sample, add the offset of 200 and 200 and press the right button. Let's test it. Perfect. It did exactly what it should. Okay, so I think we are ready to proceed to the last case, when there's a process defined and when there's a sample defined. So I have previously checked the IDs of each notepad, and I would like Automatron to actually click on the second one instead of the first one. So I will look for the process with ID 12540. Okay, and I'm telling Automatron to look for this specific sample, but only within this processes window. Let me delete the offset and go back to the left mouse button. Okay, let me run it, and here we are at the second notepad. It skipped the first one, it went directly to the second one because we told Automatron that we want to look for this specific sample only within this window of this process. That's why it landed here and completely skipped the rest of the screen and the first notepad. And this is pretty much it. Thank you so much for watching, and stay tuned for more.